One thing you mentioned was the issues with Tor.
Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier on about how there's this supply and demand imbalance.
Hmm.
And I don't know enough about it to make a educated comment on it, but I know that in Bitcoin we have this saying that Bitcoin fixes everything, right? Bitcoin fixes this and aligns incentives. I wonder, is there a place for Bitcoin to help out here and align the kind of like supply and demand mismatch that you're seeing on Tor, either making it a paid service over Lightning, allowing these participants who are helping support the Tor network to earn money? Is that something like it seems this has been an issue for months? I remember hearing it may have been in June there was like a DDoS attack on Tor, and it seems like it never really resolved. It's just perpetually an issue. But it's also a service that a lot of Bitcoiners love, and a lot of people look at it and say this is a great privacy preserving tool. And I think I think a lot of Bitcoiners would be very unhappy if it no longer existed. And I wonder, I'm just kind of brainstorming off the top of my head here, but like, is there a role for Bitcoin to play in supporting the Tor network?
Absolutely, Kevin. I think this is a great question. We'll have to dive into it. So, first of all, it's good that Bitcoiners already understand the importance of privacy and of the Tor network. So it's been really encouraging seeing a lot of people set up, different fundraisers, encouraging other people to set up their own Tor exit nodes and relays to help sustain the network. So that's been great on its own, right? But ultimately, you got to look at incentives. And the incentives there are really just people trying to preserve their own privacy, right? And to be altruistic. And I think there's a limit as to how far that can really go. So, like, long term, it's not a sustainable way to just do like fundraisers to run Tor nodes. So, yeah, I mean, I would absolutely love to see Tor or a similar privacy preserving network to operate on a streaming basis with sats, in which you're paying for every request you send off or get back. I think that would be amazing. Um, I think there are a lot of challenges in doing that, namely in making sure that the data you're getting back is like valid and not just some nonsense, some peer serving up trying to steal sats. So I don't know if we can find some sort of crafty way to verify those calls. Probably not because of how the web works. You might end up with some sort of incentive, like in like a reputation system, but that's also very tricky. Um, so yeah, I mean, I definitely see the potential for it, and I'd love to see it. It's just that there's a lot of challenges in doing it, and I don't think it's just going to pop up overnight. I think it's going to take concerted effort. But now that we have this micro unit in the Satoshi, or even if the mill is Satoshi, if you want to get crazy with it, we can have all sorts of new economic behavior that just wasn't like possible previously. Like it doesn't make sense to sell anything less than $1 in a lot of cases because of the credit card processing fees. A lot of establishments have their card minimums a lot higher than that because of their processing rates. And when that no longer becomes a problem, and as long as you have your inbound liquidity, the processing fees really get paid by the payer. Just LN just invites so many different new use cases that you and I probably haven't even thought of yet. So super excited by those new economic opportunities and situations to arise. And yeah, it's just going to take a lot of experimentation, but I think that's like a great example of something we might see come to fruition.